welcome back to another video. With the bit long today, we're going to have a look on the latest development of the market and where we're sitting at. Before we get into any content, I would love to do a quick disclaimer. None of this content is a financial advice. Of course, you must do your own market research, right? Because I'm not a financial advisor. So yeah, I think everybody's very emotional about everything that is happening right now. Something good and also bad, okay? Looking into the TA side, makes sense that BTC might retest 100k one more time, because we've been trading inside this consolidation for a long time. I made a video here. If you haven't seen, you can go back to the previous one. And by the way, if you're not subscribed, subscribe and hit the like button, because when I do videos, I always try to bring some value and my personal perspective on the market. I believe that we might continue to go up based on the TA, okay? If you look into the geopolitical side, I don't think so. However, what is very interesting, and I saw on the magazine of the Middle East, 154, I believe, billion were transacted through crypto network. And a very great analyst, she mentioned that one of the reasons that Bitcoin stood and stay very still comparing to US stocks, bonds, and all of that, it's because Bitcoin is being backed by blockchain, and most of the transactions during the war were also made through crypto. So we're seeing a massive change here from central banks into our system, and this is all about it. You know, Bitcoin is here to bring transparency, and if you cannot have transparency, you're just not buying at the right platform and you're not having control over your crypto. So make sure you choose a right trustable partner when it comes to that, because crypto, it is transparent. Everything that comes to our industry and claims to be something else, it's a scam. So be very careful and be aware of that. Bitcoin is being a top asset during the entire conflict as an alternative through different ways. You know, like Iran is not comfortable with receiving anything in USD, according to them. Okay, I don't want to get political. Bitcoin came into place because it's a neutral currency and you can exchange after to anything you want. So if people don't want to deal with USD, they can deal with Bitcoin. They can swipe to whatever currency they like. So it's being held and used massively during the war, and it's playing out really nice. And I believe it's one of the reasons some people are betting at the end of the war, because here is something tricky to analyze. Why the crypto market is going up during the war, and something very weird is happening, right? It could be a speculation, or maybe it's just the end of the war, or maybe a transaction is going on that we don't know. But anyways, we don't need to know. We'll move to the TA now, and I will show you in a second what I mean. Okay, so 81,290 by the time that we're making this content. And I do believe in the previous resistance, if we manage to play out, it's a great opportunity, okay? All the way to 98k to 100k. And I'm not doing this target price as something that comes to my mind. It's just something that you can see here that I've been watching and tracking for a long time. And if you go to the previous videos, you will see that I've been also mentioning, guys, the more we consolidate, the bigger the pump or the dump will be. That's how the market is. So a consolidation is just a data movement that is being consolidating, and it creates support and resistance. So what we're looking at right now, it's literally the support and resistance that we're playing out for months. And right now, we broke the resistance. And you know, because I explained in this channel many times, once you break resistance, it might be at 96 or 98k as the new resistance. It's just like that. The market works with memory. He's always going through his previous memory. So meaning he broke to the upside, he will revisit the previous high. The previous high over here, by me, to be specifically precise, it's around 98k. So we broke resistance, we might retest 98k. Okay, so now if you cannot afford to trade, do not take this trade. And if you haven't entered yet, and if you want to enter, you need to wait a bit on a bit of a retracement if you can on the 1 hour to the 15-minute and just long. That's it. And watch, because guys, once we break resistance, it is a up movement until we build the new one. Okay, I hope that is very clear. And if you don't understand support resistance, you can go to my previous videos. I made 3 videos about that, and you can just have fun and really screenshot, go through it. It's very boring, it's nothing fancy, but it does the work. Okay, so this is my next target. Now I think Solana, I'm very careful when it comes to altcoins these days. I think Solana, it's also a very, very great one. Look at Solana. I mean, it's completely down, right? I think if you're holding Sol, if Bitcoin keeps on the rally, if we don't have any terrible news related to the war, even if nothing happens, Solana can be a great one too. Okay, so all the way to 120, the next pump. Okay, but let's just see that first TP will be in 120 if we manage to continuously go up, and you can call this one here support resistance. Okay, 40 even further, depending. If you duplicate, you can see that this is also another support and resistance, which also is the mid range of the previous one. If you duplicate one more time, you can see this is the other half of the support and resistance, and just at the middle, that is not much to do and is not worth taking any trades in my perspective. But yeah, you see, everything has support, resistance, and it has a middle. So if you understand that, you can make and trade as much as you want. But of course, it requires a lot of passion. I'm very positive until further notice, okay? Because we are living in a world that we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And trading, it's all about that. You got to learn how to get in and out. And I'm always going to tell you that, because the people who rely only on a buying side, I was there. I don't want you to be there, and I already see on X that loads of people are calling, the buying side. Don't buy into that forever. Learn how to enter and exit, and you never go hungry. Yeah, hopefully. Jokes aside, let's go to X and just have a look. Posted also today about it. And you know what? Just before we go back to that, I also noticed that dog with a hat is pumping. It might be a great long here, okay? But that's a very, very short-term thing. If you go to the 15 minutes, might not be the best entry yet. But don't you find it strange that dog with a hat is pumping? I think, a lot of people also, they get bored and they just blow up money on the meme coin market, which sometimes is a bad thing. So on the 4 hourly is indicating something different, but for the meantime, it's pumping. Okay, so I just want to do a quick comment on that. Let me know, guys, if you are trading dog with a hat, because I just thought that it's very, very strange and interesting to have this meme bumping out of nothing. However, the market has a bit of a bullish momentum today. And yes, guys, it's so much going on when it comes to the political side. Oh boy, what a month to be alive. Actually, what a year to be, alive in this planet. This girl is rich, but she lives in a van. I found quite smart. And yes, I know a couple of traders that were leaving before also in their car. And whatever you do, also posted about some platforms on the development side, and AI is replacing crypto jobs more than we can realize. Coinbase has 14% cut today. On the May 5, they had 14% cut. Crypto.com replaced 12% of their employees, 180 roles. Wow, that's crazy. Gemini, 30% cut, 445 staff members were fired on Gemini just at the beginning of this. Do you guys understand the proportion of that? It's really getting crazy, and I'm only talking about our industry. If I go to the normal companies, it's a lot more. But also Algorand, which is one of my favorite blockchains, you guys know, I quite like them though. I think they're very serious about everything they do. But however, they replaced 50 roles with AI, 25%. Wow. So OP Labs, that I'm not very familiar with, 20 roles eliminated, and Mesabi Crypto, multiple rounds AI first, people were replaced by AI also. And yeah, here is the full picture for you guys to have a better understanding at. So, I think OP Labs is more like an incubator or something. As you see, AI is replacing loads of people and is moving really fast, more than we can potentially imagine. I don't want to comment on the criminal case of the US elite that has absolutely no accountability. Okay, we're having still problems when it comes to oil, gas, and all of that, but I do not believe that is the end yet. I think we are approaching the end of the war, but it's not the end yet. Let me know what you guys speculate. And also, this is quite interesting here, I saw this video that oil pumps from nothing. This is only for entertainment purpose, yeah? Just letting you know. I don't mean to say anything, but if you see what I see, you might know what I know. When it comes to the geopolitical movement, I do not have much hopes to the current US market, but somehow crypto is responding very different. As I mentioned, it's been a massive tool during the war. And I will leave the article somewhere here in the links down below, because I thought, you know what, we should also support a lot of women in finance. And both of them gave a very good analysis. So I will leave the link down below to the Middle East magazine commentaries that I saw. However, guys, I think it's gonna be likely to be a good week in crypto. If not, we all cooked in our longs. But apparently it's a very bullish sentiment. And when it comes to the war, should I say conflict? When it comes to the conflict, I believe it might take some time to close. Even knowing I'm really praying to stop it as soon as we can, because having the Strait of Hormuz closed, not only on the political side, is really bad to all the leaders that are very crazy, they don't know what they're doing, but also increases the price of everything and the day-to-day people. But it can also cause loads more problems, such as the war keeping on. But however, it's a war, it doesn't end nicely sometimes as we think, but it might come to an end. And I think the Bitcoin price is responding into a very great signal into that. And surprisingly, the S&P 500, it's also responding in a very positive way. So let's see what's going to play out. Let me know in the comments down below if you are long in S&P or Bitcoin, or what you think about. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.